Hello everybody, my name is Christopher Sagner, 5Don. Today, we're going to talk about how to think during the middle game. Let's take a look at this game example played between Chochikun, 9Dan, and Ishida Yoshio, 9Dan. On this board, both black and white have already sketched out the relative areas that they're interested in, with white having a group here, a nice corner position here, and a decent group up top. Black has sketched out a territory with both corners. He's currently trying to take many points here and move to the center, and has a group matching whites here on the bottom. At this point, we would say both players are firmly past the opening stage of the game, where the territories are being loosely sketched, and now entering into the middle game, where attack defense and group safety become the most important. If we look at this example, and we analyze all the groups on the board, we have to ask ourselves, since we're in the middle game now, are our groups safe? What does it mean to have a safe group? A group that is safe is defined by having at least 2 out of 3 characteristics. Does my group have a base? And/or can it make a base if my opponent plays the next move? Does my group have eyes or eye space already established? Especially if the opponent plays the next move. And the third one, does my group have unimpeded access to the center of the board? All of these are of course conditional on whether or not it's your opponent's move to play. Looking at this example, we can ask ourselves, do we have any weak groups? This is the first and most important step in learning how to navigate the middle game. We'll start in this corner. It's 2 black stones all by themselves. Black has a base here in the corner with territory, plenty of room to make eyes, and the group can see the center quite clearly. We would say that this corner is strong. Moving to black's bottom right corner, we would suggest the same thing. Even though both black and white have 3 stones, the black group has a firm control of the corner territory, giving it a very stable base, as well as access to the center. This black group here has a base. It's surrounded by the opponent on 2 sides, and since the opponent is on the same line as the 2 black stones, the base can be undercut, but black has some space already. And with a base, it's usually enough space to make 1 eye. The black group can move to the center, but in this case, it is behind enemy lines. We would draw a line between the 2 white stones. We call that a sector line. And so this black group's status could be somewhat questionable. Moving to the upper left corner, black has some base in the corner. It's now surrounded this white stone. It has space in the center to be a base as well, and clearly has unimpeded access. So this corner area is quite stable for black. We would repeat this process with the white stones as well, since we're looking from the perspective of the observer. In your own game, we would always start by looking at your groups first. In this corner, we see white has taken a solid base and territory here, and white has access to the center. This white group is safe. This is 1 single white stone. We don't really worry so much about single stones unless they're important. And this group up here, we can see has a base, and it has eye space. Black has no way of going underneath it, so even though it cannot clearly get out to the center, it checks 2 out of 3 of the boxes. We can move down to this white group. This white group does have a base, for now, but just like the black group to the left of it, it also can be undercut from black's double second line stones. And it's also behind black's sector line, albeit black's sector line is a little bit larger than white's. In this situation during the game, it was white to play. What do you think white did? In the game, white decided to play this move. A very sharp, very powerful move, securing white's base and encroaching on black's base. Now that black's base has been reduced and his eye space nearly gone, the black group became significantly weaker in this position. This is the first step of understanding the middle game. Let's take a look at this example from a professional game. In this case, it is also white to play. If we look around the group and we analyze the status of most of the white positions, we would say just about everything white has looks safe. The only questionable group of whites is the group here at the top. If we follow the first step of our list, then we would suggest that, okay, this white group is weak, and probably white should spend 1 move to save it. In the game, white plays here. After this move, a big fight broke out as black attempted to attack the white group, and ultimately white survived. Not only did white survive, but white was also able to counterattack black as a result of black attacking white too hard. Now that we have taken a look at two examples of professional players defending their weak groups first, we can talk about the second part of our list of the middle game thinking. The second part of this list is my opponent okay? Once we have secured all of our weak groups, the next thing we want to be looking for are weak groups of our opponents. In many situations, if your groups are strong and your opponent's groups are not strong, you'll be able to attack and get much profit without your opponents being able to do very much of anything. To understand steps 1 and 2 of the list, we should go over what it actually means to attack something. In Go, it's very simple. Attack simply means to remove a running direction. Unlike other games in chess where you have a clear middle game objective like capturing your opponent's king via checkmate, or simplifying by taking material to reach a position in the endgame where you can guarantee a draw or a win, the end result in Go is only having more territory than the opponent. It's a very ambiguous goal and doesn't give you many straightforward ways to achieve it. By attacking and removing the running directions of your opponent's stones, you block them or impede their progress in moving to certain areas of the board that can become big or valuable places to make territory for either them or you in the future. Let's take a look at this example for step number 2 of the list. Black and white have played the same number of moves and we've arrived at this position. It is now black to play. Are there any weak groups on the board that black can attack? That's right. The white group over here is the most questionable group that black has. If black was to look at what directions the white group could move, it can go due south or it can go due east to the center. One of those two directions looks quite appealing to black, and that would be blocking white's running direction due south. By attacking from this position and impeding white's progress in this direction, we've now put white in a situation where white is both behind enemy lines and one step away from losing white's base and white's eyes. This would be a very tempting area for white to also play the next move, should white have been able to play one more move in a row here. So therefore, since black has no weak groups on the board to speak of, and white is the only player with a questionable position, it is black's duty to use due diligence and attack this white group. So we've talked about, in this section, the first 2 parts of the list. Make sure that my weak groups are okay. Attack my opponent's weak groups. What's the third part of this 3-step list? The third part is the one that's usually the easiest and the one that most beginners love to do, play in the big area. Let's take, for instance, this point of a game on the board here. In this situation, neither black and white really have any terribly weak groups. This white group might look questionable, but it does have plenty of eye space and it has access to the center, so it's actually quite resilient to black's attempts to attack it. In this situation, the only real weak area black has is the cutting point in the center. But the cutting point only threatens to capture 2 stones, and these 2 stones are not particularly contributing to black's game plan moving forward, since saving them does not really injure the white group in a productive way. So with that being said, this is where black would emphasize step 3 of the list. What's the big area? Now, big area can be any number of places, but usually it's just about counting the space between stones or looking at the way stones can develop on the board and then playing in the biggest one. So on this board, black may decide to play something like this knight's move press, limiting white's ability to develop the left side, which is big. Or black might consider this press, which would be limiting white's ability to then play the same move, allowing white to grow the bottom. With the list, you'll be able to navigate a lot of the hardships of the middle game in a relatively simple and straightforward manner. Let's do a quick recap. Step 1. Am I okay? Do I have any weak groups or important stones that can be attacked or bothered or hurt in any meaningful way? Step number 2. Does my opponent have any weak groups or important stones that we can attack or hurt for benefit or profit? And step 3. If there are no weak groups, what's the biggest point on the board we should play in that area? This list, an important facet of it, is that it's recursive. If you can do multiple things within the list at the same time, then that's usually a prime candidate to be the best move on the board. In many cases, there will be several situations where your best move is defending a weak group and it's also attacking something else. Or you might attack an opponent's group, and while attacking their weak group, you might also be playing in the big place. Things that can accomplish multiple points of the list are usually going to be the moves that are better than anything else. Of course, even armed with the list, the middle game is still going to be full of mysteries and complexities. So please be sure to let us know if you'd like other videos on this topic, or if you'd like to see something that goes through each section of the list a little bit more in depth. Trust me, I could go on talking about this stuff for hours. My name is Christopher Sagner, 5Don. It's been a pleasure to bring this concept to you. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you next time. This is Go Magic.
By the way, you can also watch these lessons on our platform, gomagic.org. Except there, you'll watch them with interactive quizzes right within the lessons and practical exercises right after them. And if you enjoy watching these Go videos and you don't want to miss others like this one, go smash that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and this is Go Magic.